You mentioned that WE didn't really seem too comfortable playing this, and at least banning it for right now does keep that from being an issue. Everything else, honestly, not too surprising. Perhaps Varus, perhaps Nocturne. Surprises to some, but Nocturne, Varus, still very strong.
Ezreal made it through the draft. I'm
Sure.
a little puzzled about Nocturne. We haven't seen both of these guys play it. I haven't been super excited about it, and if we see that Orianna's also going to be taken away, it has definitely gone down in priority. So WE, instead of looking at any of the junglers, I think that Jarvan going through this draft is quite illegal personally, but WE are going to prioritize a very strong lane matchup in the bottom lane.
Does leave Jarvan up for this next round for JDG. Since you've already got Ezreal, you can basically leave everything else alone. Camille is up if you'd like to let Ezreal just be completely self-sufficient and throw your Camille throughout the rest of the map. Throw their weight around. Can be easily paired with the Jarvan as well, so the jungle lock-in here doesn't necessarily count that out. I do wonder if they actually feel like it, though. I mean, a lot of teams today even have had the option to pick Camille and decided not to.
Camille's definitely started to fall off. I think people are recognizing that, okay, the game doesn't just end at level 3. We also have a lot of upcoming nerfs to roaming supports, which I know a lot of people have been looking at the patch notes, so maybe teams, as we said with the mages that are also going to be getting nerfed soon, the teams are just doing this in preparation. They're like, we're not going to spend more time playing Camille. The games we would win with this are probably less valuable than just getting practice on the stuff that is probably going to be most important for playoffs and potentially the regional finals here. Looking back at the draft, though, Ezreal Nautilus, not the best 2v2 and can definitely get taken advantage of, but if you ever make a pick onto this Melio, you can just blow them up. And again, getting Gala, his Ezreal, by far I think the most important thing. He has been a stud on this champ.
The Victor lock in on the other side. This one's certainly going to Karis. So an entire bot side locked in for WE, and can't really say the same for JDG, who have their jungler on top of this, letting them ban away things like Skarner, take away other powerful junglers on the patch, and make sure that they're able to get an advantage there. Something that'll do JunJia very well, but I do wonder, with all Monki's champion diversity that he's given us this split, maybe it's time for the Graves jungle once again.
Into Jarvan, we've been seeing him kind of prefer Nidalee. And Nidalee in this draft, I got some flack for the last one, but they won that game, guys. So results-based analysis says that the Nidalee's good. He's won both of his Nidalee's games this year. Played it into BLG, got the backdoor. Could be the option going in. I think with Victor on the team, you're likely not to see it, and it's going to be the Xin Zhao. A strong 2v2 pairing in Melio plus Xin Zhao feels like it's going to be an okay matchup. I think JDG or WE right now have some really strong lanes, but this team can get a little punished by things like the dredge line coming in from the Nautilus and what JDG are going to be looking for in solo lane. Still a lot of options, I think, for HongQ to pick his different kinds of lane matchups.
There's a massive lack of engage. There's a canyon of engage on WE. They have basically no way to start a fight that they actually want to take, and unfortunately that's going to come down to the top laner's responsibility. That means you're drafting a top laner with CC, and that makes Olaf a fantastic pick into it as well. This will be a great lane matchup for Xiaoxu, who had a game number 1 that that he got an MVP for. And so, coming into game number 2, we are not drafting CC, we're drafting for the lane counter, and hoping for the best.
We're going to late game. This is yet another WE kind of scaling draft. If you get 3 items on Victor and Mundo, I think you have a really good setup. This is another matchup where I see Lucian Melio. I'm expecting for them to be trading early and trading very heavily. I looked at Victor versus Syndra, and Syndra can get good looks onto Victor, but Victor is very punishing in lane with his Siphon power and the Arcane Ray. So as long as WE can hold on early and kind of stack dragons, I'm expecting them to really bounce back at the 25-30 minute mark. JDG just have so many ways of starting fights. It is so much easier to play this JDG comp in comparison.
I am not loving the fact that, like you say, the ease of execution isn't really there for WE. But when I started playing League of Legends, and to this day, I hold on to a lot of this. I want to pick the least interactive thing possible. I want to pick the thing that says, no matter what you do, I win if I just wait long enough. And that's a composition that WE have. If this game, for whatever reason, is not accelerated by WE to a sufficient degree, if the engages from the Jarvan aren't there, if the hooks from the Nautilus aren't landing, and we get 2 soul point or soul fights and beyond, if we're able to stall out dragons enough, WE should just be able to non-interactively win.
I usually am on top of watching the fan cams. I don't think we've actually been able to properly see the Jindong fan chant leader in a very long time. He doesn't come to every single game, at least not at the beginning of the season, but he's been making his regular rounds, and he's always super distinct. So I'm glad I finally got to put a face to the name, or the legend that is this chant leader.
I not yet reached that level. I am always writing my notes during the first 30 seconds of the game while everybody cheers, and looks like Erha maybe caught writing a few of his own, as Flash does have to be burned, as well as the heal after Ignite and Exhaust, both popped by Gala and Vampire. Just putting a lot of pressure on Melio during the early game.
Uh-oh. Are we going to cheese gank level 2? Jarvan has that option, and this bot lane is extremely poked out here. Level 2 advantage going over, and JunJia is walking on over. It is the dot brush that is warded here by JDG, and they're going to spot JunJia coming through the river now. Monki not quite level 3. He needs to get this camp. No smite available.
Do it. Take it.
Yeah! There we go. Nautilus does mean that Jarvan, or that Monki, does not get to have access to this. If Monki is a patient player, he will just wait and probably recall and just walk to his top side. But he went for Raptors, blue buff, Gromp, so his camps are in a pretty weird position here.
Oh, flash from JunJia. This could be first blood to cut. Karis going down. HongQ able to get the assist on it at the very least, but JunJia turns from one level 2 gank into another.
He just went straight towards mid. I mean, look, if you're WE, you don't have perfect information, but Karis, the wave's not in a good spot for him. Amazing punish. Flash and teleport, that is one way that you can break the early lane strength of a champion like Victor. And Monki, because of the weird pathing he chose to mostly protect his bottom lane, is now going to be in a very weird spot. JunJia can now take this scuttle, he can try to invade for Raptors, and HongQ, who teleports back in, I think they could have had the option to actually play around his Raptors, but they're going to forego that and look to instead double scuttle and set themselves up for a lot of early vision, a lot of great information coming through for JDG.
JunJia big winning during this early game, which not what you would have hoped for as Monki, who gets a little bit more tilted after that stun. Gank in the bot side as well. This could just be JunJia winning all day long. Hops down here, and while About's able to dash away, Erha's able to walk this one out. WE at least predict the gank with enough time to get out.
Uh-oh, Monki, we can't be here. Get to steal the Raptor camp. We see that JDG are moving. Monki, why did we path this way? We can't do that, brother. That's a flash gone immediately. And Vampire's behind. You are putting your team in a very awkward position. You might just lose your Raptors for this.
JunJia ready to contest those very same Raptors, so we're likely fighting here. Erha, a little tiny bit of trolling in the bot lane, 1-for-1. As Erha for Gala is a trade that About will absolutely take.
Did lose his flash, so not great, not perfect. But in terms of damage dealing, I would just like to point all of our viewers' eyes in the direction of the bot lane inventories. It is D-Helm start for Mr. Gala's Ezreal. Recalls gets a longsword and a ruby crystal versus Sheen and a longsword. I would much rather be Lucian in this scenario, and yeah, losing my flash is not perfect, but yeah, the kill is good enough.
Vampire does take one step too far into the river, and this is the natural conclusion of that. So another kill going over to About makes him feel even better. Now I will say with Dragon up, WE have the option to convert, but Monki's going to choose to stick the recall instead, heading back to base and making sure to pick up Brutalizer before anything else untowards happens on the map. Top lane has been pretty uneventful, and ever since the level 3 gank onto Karis, so has mid. These lanes going just about even, with Xiaoxu having a small advantage up top side.
Dia, am I allowed to very nicely actually you?
Yeah, please.
I saw a Brutalizer, that's a Tumblr.
I'm so stupid. Thank you. Thank you.
You're not stupid. It's okay. Negative self-talk is bad.
That's true. That's true. You're absolutely allowed to do that. You're absolutely allowed to do that. I am anytime welcoming that. I am just now starting to play more Warwick, and otherwise I'm relegated to only support items 90% of the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say supports never see this tunnel item. I get you, buddy. I get you.
Thank you.
I thought we were going to see a dragon start for JDG because, hey, Monki just was bot lane. They got that kill on the Vampire. It means he has to do his topside camps. We can't be here. Nice dodge coming in from HongQ. But instead of going for dragon, it seems like JDG, they have camps that are spawning on the bot side. This naturally leads for JunJia to have a lot of different options. He can stay bottom lane after he does his camps and help this lane potentially look towards dragon when Gala comes back, or set yourself up for a play towards the top side. Grubs are going to be spawning in a minute and a half, and you really are going to want that to try to push the pace of the game and get gold from these plates when you have an Olaf, and I think especially when you have a Syndra who needs to kind of be escorted when we're talking about going from these outer lanes, moving around the map.
Like to see that actually make the Syndra eventually make the transition into side lane. For right now, Vampire and JunJia seem to be having plenty of fun with it. About is going to find this gank waiting for him. Will he be able to do anything about it? HongQ's come on over to participate in the party, and JDG get exactly what they were looking for. I'll be honest, that looked pretty fun.
For one of the parties, yes. As a Lucian, I would not be very happy about this scenario. Karis may be able to find this trade, but Vampires here, they completely stuff this. And JDG, they get plates on bottom side. They prevent About from getting this gold from this wave. Very big win from JDG, who now find them with a 1,600 gold lead. And HongQ's just going to be able to recall and teleport back mid. I don't think that there's very much we could see. It seems like Dragon is being started here by Monki, and JunJia without his ultimate, probably feeling like he can't actually contest.
Vampire still fishing for About, though, and Monki actually peels off the Dragon to punish this. So with Vampire down, JDG have bought themselves a little bit more time. The Dragon reset is going to come through, but it is a small delay and a little bit of extra gold to a WE. He were going to get this anyway.
I think Monki is very lucky to have gotten this Dragon. Not because I think the setup is bad, or hey, like, we got that kill again onto Vampire, but I look at JunJia, and he had an upgraded Smite. He already hit 15 on his jungle treats. He's feeling pretty good. I think having that advantage definitely makes you a little bit more happy about being in this position. But he's just making his way towards finishing his quest, and right now I'm still pretty, if I'm looking at these teams, I'm pretty happy with where JDG are right now. You have all of the gold, I think, in the right places. JunJia on this Jarvan, and Syndra accessing some of these assists means that she's getting closer with all of these splinters of Wrath.
With Grubs being unleashed there, a little bit of focus is shifting towards the top side of the map. HongQ at least went to check those out, and Monki here, lucky to have gotten the Dragon, may not be so lucky as to get more. Whew! About moving up does make WE's chances of picking this particular objective for themselves a little bit better. But now moving them into the mid lane, this is turning into time that they are wasting. JDG are going to bring up Gala to match. And on the Ezreal, I haven't taken a look at his items recently, but I'm pretty sure that he is in fighting shape for this objective.
Yeah, he's not going to have his Trinity Force quite yet, but they feel more than powerful enough. It was a small shift. Erha is sitting here. They're not going to have time to crash the wave and really hit the turret. Getting 3 grubs for this team, again, important. This season is all about bounties, is all about hitting these plates so you can get all of this gold. And grubs just makes that significantly easier, especially later on in the game. And for a champion like Syndra, who in my mind is a champion that is really reliant on getting gold because of how her spells work and obviously having access to more AP and more ability haste, it makes this champion significantly easier to play. So as a mage, as a control mage, you always need to be getting escorted. You basically can never walk into Fog of War by yourself.
One of the reasons why Vampire is spending so much dang time here. He's just walked up and warded a bit of the blue side jungle, but Vampire has maybe spent more time in mid lane than he has in bot lane. Very keen for the meta, but
he keeps dying down there.
That's true. A really big boon to HongQ. Gala's probably thanking him as well. He's typing. He's like, you know what? You can roam. It's good.
Consult the graphs here. He has died twice in that bottom lane dot brush. He has died 0 times in this game around mid lane. We are never killing Mundo. Xiaoxu, this is fake.
It was fun though. I like pressing my buttons also. Monki, not really getting to press his. Jumps on top of Gala, dies for it. HongQ should be able to pick up a bout with that final auto. He will. And JDG end up trading 2 for 1. Vampire once again dying in the bot lane.
This is huge. This is likely going to just be another dive. With JDG having 3 grubs, this might actually just be the whole turret on top of this. Gala gets the kill. Another assist over to HongQ. 67 Splinters of Wrath. And they get this. Oh, and they're giving all of the gold over to this Syndra. That is preem stuff here for JDG.
Take a look at how this went down. Monki really did not feel like he could do anything in this room.
Yep, just got punished for walking up, thought his bot lane could do the same. Also just think if you press tab, you should never be allowed to walk into this fight as Monki. Because JunJia already had the Sundered Sky, Monki bought it when he died. So you're just naturally down in terms of item parity. So, big mistake. JDG now find themselves 3,000 gold. Look! Vampire's like, we just play around mid, that's another Raptor camp I get to take. Hey, look, we're getting priority on top side. We now get to have all of this vision and draw the enemies away from the Syndra.
HongQ gets to spend a little bit of alone time with About, something that I can't imagine that About is too pleased with, given that he just took half of his HP, basically, from not being able to see the Syndra a second ago. HongQ's time in this side lane is going to be valuable, but like you said, needs to be escorted. Right now, there is a little bit of vision in the form of a control ward to keep HongQ safe, but as to continue to move up and get these plates, Vampire may once again have to make a visit to the dreaded bot side. Plate.
Oh, expensive minions.
Okay,
It's going to be Gala who picks up the gold. All right. Yeah, I'm getting worried here. I know that we said that WE, we somewhat like their comp later on, but again, JDG are playing a very strong early game, and their composition is significantly easier to play in fights. They have so many different ways of being able to start and prevent their opponents from walking forward. Oh, beautiful cancel. JunJia.
Probably dead. Definitely.
Yep. Slightly more dead than he was a couple seconds before. And look at this, JDG. I think you're just trading up on the play. JunJia loses his flash. He dies. That's not great. We're actually TPing behind. This could be a big win for them.
Picking off About would be fantastic right now, but Xiaoxu is headed towards the fight in the bot side, so while About dies to the Ignite and the flash from Gala, what's going on down here? Xiaoxu shows up, and Monki is maybe 500 HP, turns into a lot less into the scat of the week from HongQ. With Karis falling and Erha left alone, JDG's decent play from earlier evaporates in their face.
That is a massive win, and WE just overextending on that wave. Cube can't or just decides not to match. This is Dragon on top of this and the first turret of the game, all in the pocket of JDG. All of this gold going in. So they just try to overextend. They try to go for HongQ, who, by the way, is extremely powerful right now. Has the Blackfire Torch like we were mentioning, also has tier 3 boots of swiftness, so a ton of movement speed allowed to him, and because he survives this overextension, this investment from JDG with this teleport coming in behind, it completely backfires and I think almost outright jeopardizes the game. From this state, it is incredibly hard for JDG to actually win from here, and they're going to be relying on JDG making a few mistakes. WE might have kind of costed their ability to win this series.
It's a blink it and you'll miss it moment for WE as well. I mean, they take one fight that seems harmless, thinking they can pick off HongQ, and it turns into them losing not just the Dragon, not just the first tower of the game, but the bot lane tower as well. It's now a 5,000 gold lead for JDG, who are starting up the Rift Herald at the same time, with only top lane outer left standing. The game is slipping from WE's fingers. It's like the last bits of sand are there, but they need to really grasp in order to hold on to it at all. The Herald just now dropped. We'll see if JDG end up using that to finish off the tower topside expediently or wait for an opener around the next dragon in the next 4 minutes.
W just seemed frazzled. Look at the lane assignments. Both Lucian and Victor walked into topside, took the Hex Portal, and now we're walking bottom lane. We gave up a wave versus this Olaf. It almost feels like they don't really have a strong idea as to which lanes they want to be in. HongQ almost never really wants to be versus this Mundo, but Mundo's not aggressing, so just getting a free lane, getting more splinters, and you get to hit this turret. This is 3 plates that have gone over to the Syndra. So everybody on the side of JDG is getting paid, and WE don't have very many options thanks to this draft. I might hold this. It is Mundo who has access to the ultimate. Monkey's also here, but I wanted to look at WE's match record. I think Karis is dead. He's just TPing out.
Oh, makes it. That's fortunate.
Okay.
Because you're right. That guy on my screen was dead.
Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about was WE's match record. It's 5-3. They lost to TT earlier this week, and by most metrics, they likely should have lost against AL. They were down 6,000 gold at like 20 minutes in both of those games, but it was last-minute team fights that clutched out the game. They won game 1 versus AL, still down gold overall. And they should not, in a regular game, by, again, normal means, this team should have 2 losses. They should be 4-4 right now. But finding those last-minute clutches up against AL put them at 5-2. That loss against TT puts them at 5-3. This is very realistically a team that has kind of floundered in early game and basically got saved by the seat of their pants that they're even 5-3 right now. In another reality very close to this one, this team is likely 4-4 right now. Could now potentially on the verge of being 4-5.
I'm hoping that they're able to clutch up in that same way. I mean, the good thing is that the composition from WE lets them do it. The longer this goes, the better it looks. But up to a point, and especially with how this game has been played so far, JDG don't seem keen on letting it get to that point. Dragon up in a minute, and with the Rift Herald just now used, JDG don't go for the second crash in mid lane as a few too many members of WE are there. You don't want to give WE a chance back into this game. And remember, compositionally, WE can't look for one themselves. It has to be an overextension from JDG. One they may be committing right now as Monki, isolated in the Crescent Guard, will not be that overextension. In fact, he will just be overextending himself.
He dies for the blue buff. Maybe there's a return play. Cube teleported for this, but on the other side of this fight, Gala was peppering Mystic shots. They take out Erha at the beginning of this. So jungle support die at the same time. It's still the turret in bottom lane that gets taken. And hey, the Herald got dropped. It's just going to be more gold being given to JDG right now. 3-0-4 on this Syndra, getting closer to that final evolution in the game. This is an incredible game here for JDG and a week that they are going to need if this team is going to do anything in playoffs. Look at Gala. He's like, oh, hey, you thought you could step up? Mystic shot between the lines there. Erha's like, yeah, I've got a bout and I've got a teleporting Mundo. Surely I'm safe. Mystic shot says, no thank you. Get out of here. Do not collect go. Do not collect $200. Straight to jail with you, brother.
So much damage as well, and JDG do have that in spades. Damage from, if not off your screen, just off of it. Gala can poke from an eternity away, and HongQ can do a very, very similar thing on Syndra. While JDG's composition can keep you at arm's length, they can simultaneously pull you in for a very deadly hug. Vampire especially, and JunJia being able to do just that. Both of them converging at the same time around this mid lane. About cooked as a result.
We are 20.5 minutes into this game, Dia, and it is almost a 10,000 gold lead. I know the number at the top there says 8,000, but I look at the advantages individually, and it's going to feel like 10K. And there's a Baron up, so very realistic. We see JDG move over to this objective after taking this mid-tier 1. Mystic shot plus the Essence Flux. That's 2 plates gone, 3 grubs as well. JDG are running over this game too.
Just continuing to expand the gold lead as much as they can before turning onto the big, if not game-ending, game-defining objectives. Baron pinged just now as the top lane tower falls, so JDG absolutely planning for that in the next few minutes, and it is up to WE to contest, I think. I don't think you have an option.
I don't think you have the items. So this is almost like a catch-22. Do you go and engage? This is beautiful from JunJia. EQ flash to land the knock-up. And then they get to control the Raptors as well. A miniature prize at this point in the game. But you don't have the damage. I look at Victor's items, and this guy is just homeless right now. He doesn't even have... He's building towards a rocket belt. You're not even there yet. I just look at how much the gold differential is between the lanes of JDG. And you look at the state of the game. It's just not getting that much better. Cube has finished a Heartsteel at 21 minutes. He has 0 stacks. This is like as greedy as you can get. There are so many better items you can choose, and these are just the small things that we're nitpicking. The gameplay itself has been puzzling from WE.
At the moment, About is really the only person who can save this game, and it's certainly not Wicked Monki. That guy does not get to play in his own jungle, which is fine at this point in the game. The confusing thing is that he seems to believe he can.
That's kind of a bar, respect. Well, Baron started. You got no enemy jungler. WE gotta do something. They've got a mid-wave that they're looking to press. Objective bounty plus plates will put it at about 8,000, but then the Baron's just gonna rubber band them back to 9. So WE, can you make the great escape? 5 plates plus a bounty. Feels good.
Getting the mid lane tower for WE seemed nice, but now I think you're starting to wonder whether it was worth it. Cube likely going to die in this exchange, but pops the ultimate for a little bit more time. Ignite's going to go down, teleport to flank him, and this reminds me a lot of last game, to be honest. A situation where Cube should die. It's just going to take a long, long time to do it.
Also, Cube low-key sold out Erha. Like, he's living for a long time. Okay, maximum dosage is not enough, but he also led them into Erha. So Erha is like trying to hide, super stealth agent. JDG are going to give up on this play, so he'll survive. He'll get shown on the minion wave, but too late at this point. Baron here for JDG. The nicest thing I can say about WE is that because of that excursion, they wasted about a minute of the Baron. But yeah. I'm looking at a 2-minute timer. I'm looking at Dragon that spawns in a minute, and I'm seeing all these jungle camps that Monki just gets to sit in the chair and watch as JDG take all the prizes.
About close to IE. I could see that being good. I mean, it's definitely not bad. Is it game-winning? Also no. Especially not if he dies here.
Less likely. less good, some would say. Oh, Monki.
I've definitely heard it said. JunJia recommitting with the Ragnarok. Does let Xiaoxu free to finish off the kill. Karis really wants to answer this, but JunJia is all over him, and HongQ does way too much damage to be surely legally allowed on the Rift for much longer. After having picked up all those 4 kills, it is nearly an ace, and simply Erha, who sits on the Rift watching the end of the game barrel down at his nexus. JDG are 5 strong and looking to end this game in 2-0 fashion. About is back. About, by the way, still without the Infinity Edge, and will end the game without it. WE do not make this series close. JDG close it out pretty cleanly.
They get a 3-0 weekend. That's good. That's what we want to see from JDG. A 2-1 win versus LGD, a 2-0 over EDG, and now a 2-0 win over WE. This is their easiest week by far. These are the teams that are kind of in that standing around the bottom half of the league. WE are still going to be 5-4. They're still going to be above you in the standings, but when I look at their schedule going forward, this is the easiest week that they're going to have, because next week it's BLG, AL, and a rematch with LGD at the very end of it. They are playing a lot of tough series towards the back half of the split, and these are now games that you're going to need to win and potentially make a surge to 4th, maybe even 3rd, depending on how AL continue.
Yeah, so I mean, after this series, we were thinking about this as the battle for 4th place. Now that JD have beat WE, and WE were the team that were competing for that spot, they look good doing it. Do you think they can rise above 3rd during the course of this split? Do you think that is, even if they can't do it score-wise, that's fine. I'm okay with them not being able to do it score-wise. I'm wondering, is this a team that can make top 3 from from the quality of play perspective?
I think if they are playing at absolute peak, this team is contesting for top 3 in the league. I think that there are small gaps. If everybody's playing top League of Legends at the very peak Apex, I think it's really tough for JDG with the pieces that they have currently to break back into top 2 and even potentially win this split. But if they go on a burner, if they just play really, really hot League of Legends in the best of 5s, could see this team yet again make a finals with the potential of these guys. But right now, I think eyes are, let's get to top 3, let's get into the top side of the bracket, just make it as easy as possible for us so that our contention going into Worlds is essentially untouchable.
On the other hand, I also think it's worth talking about what we just saw with WE. Underperformance. I don't think that this was a team that was playing at the same level that we would have expected them to coming into today, especially because we thought this would be a much more even series. This looked like maybe 60 to 75% of what they could have given. And that is not to say that 100 would have been destroying JDG. I think 100 would have been an even matchup, probably a win. But WE definitely came in today, had a bad day. I'd still say that their ceiling is easily a top 4, but this series does make me wonder.
That's the variability. That's the double-edged sword you're going to get with this WE team. At their very peak, they can be an elite-level team here in the LPL. Their floor does leave a lot to be desired. Likely, they are not going to drop beneath 5th. I think that maybe if Thunder Talk find a couple more wins, but that's looking tough when I look at Thunder Talk's schedule, BLG and AL next week. That would be legendary if they could find upset wins there.
That would be awesome.
But I look at 7th and 8th with LGD and EDG, and it is looking like those 2 spots are almost all but confirmed for them. WE are just a really, really scrappy team, and if you can beat them in the skirmishes, you're just going to win the game. It's why they usually aren't able to beat some of our better mechanical teams, again, like a Top Esports or like a BLG in the regular season. But it's all about, are they playing hot? How much momentum do they have? I think Cube had another pretty horrible series from an individual perspective, and Monki had some really, really confusing decisions, especially in that Xin Zhao game.
Yeah, so second game looked less like WE as a whole, were having trouble getting to the fights, but that Monki was creating fights that just were not there. He was committing to things that were not good plays. He was putting himself in very strange positions. JDG did manage to come back from something similar, though. I thought that JunJia, for the first 10 minutes of Game 1, was playing completely lost with his minimap off. Like, I mean, that is a little bit of flame that I can give him because they won the game. But it did not look good. So we've definitely seen junglers be on different pages from the rest of their team and had it work out. WE were not quite able to do that, and part of that is going to come down to how they are feeling on the day. Like you say, the performances of everyone else, but then also I don't think that Monki ever really gave us a big, like, comeback moment like JunJia did, which on the Vi is at least easier. You just press R on somebody and you go kill that guy.
Kill that guy right now. I feel very vindicated for the graphic that we had earlier, where it's like, hey, JunJia, usually between 14 to 24 minutes, he goes even, he mitigates some losses. But then Monki, minus 600 gold between that time, usually gets a little bit worse if games are already losing, because he's like, look, we're already in a bad spot. We need to fight our way out. The only way out is through. He's probably the modern version of the old MLXG meme, where it's like, hey, when my team's ahead, we need to take a team fight to be able to win the game. If the game is even, we need a team fight to break the game in our advantage. And if we're behind in gold, well, we're probably not winning the game anyway, so we just need a team fight and pray to God that something good happens on our side.
Yeah. That seems to be the game plan from at least Monki. Everyone else on WE, very different pages. I feel kind of bad for About. I mean, I like watching Lucian Melio pop off. Didn't really get the chance to do that.
Nope.
How much of that is About? How much of that is just, life? I don't.
That level one was tough.
I don't feel inclined
that level
to
one was
say
tough,
that
brother.
That was. We saw, but About picked up 2 kills in I think at the 3-minute mark. That seemed fine.
Yeah, and then everything else went sideways. 40% damage to Syndra. Jesus. That's crazy. Yeah, that is really big for HongQ.
That must be a HongQ MVP for Game 2. I don't think it's HongQ.
Sure.
I don't think it's HongQ's series. I think it's who do I think it is? It must be Gala series, right? If they gave Gala, no, because Xiaoxu's Olaf was forgettable.
He had that cool flank play.
That he did.
It was Ari. Maybe they just give HongQ player of the series, because
I could see that.
This Syndra game was really good. Xiaoxu's Rumble was exceptional in game number 1, but I just remember so many great charms coming in from HongQ. They kind of got the Vi Ari combo towards the end of the game, so it's like, hey, your top laner had a really great game, but if we were to give Xiaoxu a rating, he played a 9 in game 1, and then he played a 7 or an 8 in game 2, where I think HongQ played really, really exceptionally outside of the first 5 minutes of the Ari matchup into Rise.
Yeah. I think that's fair. There's a good prediction. HongQ definitely impressing, and JunJia also in the first couple of minutes of this game looked really, really good. I even think that he staged a big comeback on the Vi game, mostly because of Vi's utility, but a comeback nonetheless. I don't think it's MVP worthy, but I think there's an argument. I think that if we bring up the votes, we may see a couple of people having given this to JunJia just because of especially the impact that his Jarvan had in the early game, and ultimately how the lane ended up going for HongQ and how the team fights played out for JDG as a whole. JunJia had a whole lot of impact on this game, which is both great for him and everybody. This is why we picked Jarvan.
Jarvan Vi feels good. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just dive their immobile carries. There's a Victor on my screen, and he doesn't have flash. What was the famous saying we have here? Kill that guy.
Yeah. I'm talking about people that didn't get to play the game. Karis was, like you were talking about, no items, no autonomy, no nothing, and I don't think that was really an individual thing. Karis was not really able to play the game. He wasn't able to side lane against HongQ, that's for sure, and not the lack of autonomy turned into a lack of impact that does make me feel bad for Karis, because I think that of all of WE, didn't really get the chance to do anything wrong or right. However, our prediction for what would happen during Game 2, at the very least, is true. HongQ ends up picking up Player of the Game. Now, to see whether he ended up getting Player of the Series as well.
I think your earlier analysis that the crew is going to be very split as to who gets Player of the Series might make our Player of the Series very wonky. It might be like 3 votes to this person and then like 3 votes to this person, and because someone like Winners Club or the stinky AI comes up and is like, I'm gonna pick a random support because Vampire had an amazing game and I'm a computer. Like it's gonna it could just throw off all of our Player of the Series.
That is true. That is true. Vampire had an alright game.
Look, the highlights on that Nautilus game, I saw a lot of hooks hit the terrain. Xiaoxu player of the match. All right. Fair play. I thought his Olaf game was all right.
It was all right.
Easy. It was pretty easy to play when the Mundo is doing nothing and you're just farming damage numbers. I want to see the votes though.
Yeah, I think that the pick for Xiaoxu being Player of the Series is sort of the difference between, as you said, a performance of what is this? What do I want to do? An 8 and a 10 versus 2 9s. Just if we had to pick it, they both average out to about the same thing. I think that across the series, these players had similar amounts of impact. But the peak for Xiaoxu, especially in the first game, was significantly higher because he was roasting everyone alive.
We're trying to have ethical Pog votes, and we can only pray. But we're closing up on our series here. We're going to get through some individual highlights, but while this is rolling...
Yeah.
They're showing Olaf highlights. I think we need to wait because we're going to send it to standings and then immediately have to come back because I know fans, and I know me personally, I just want to see what the actual votes are. But I did want to take a look at the standings before we close out the show. So, all right, LPL.
We'll do that.
That is enough Olaf gameplay. Dude, he's level. This is the last play of the game.
It is. It's the final whatever moment. I've actually seen this play like three times
now.
Yeah, because they just it's fine. The issue with Olaf is that when he's winning, it's not really that crazy. He's just sort of runs.
He's just auto attacking you.
Yeah, like you're not like, wow, I can't believe that this level 18 4-item Olaf somehow was able to kill our AD carry. Wow, this was not a single mid lane vote.
A Gala vote? What are the summoners doing? All right. Well,
yikes.
At least it was 7 out of 8, which is exactly how we got player of the game in game number 1. So,
true.
This time it wasn't the observers that stabbed us, or the observers didn't stab us in the back of the game 1. They gave it to Vampire in game 1, but the summoners. What are we doing on Weibo? Gala's a very popular player. He also had a really good Ashe game. The Ezreal was fine, so maybe they were just like, hey, he felt underrepresented in some of the Pog votes, which I get behind. There we go, Dia. Here are our standings after week number 3. Honestly, they didn't change all that much outside of the top esports win over BLG.
Mm-hmm.
And even though JDG won today, they're still below WE because of the horrific start to the split.
Thunder Talk, maybe closing in on them? Not really. 6 losses makes that difficult. It's the only thing that I'm trying to think of like how we change things up. Top of the standings is going to be contested, especially with BLG and top esports in the last couple of weeks, as we do have 2 weeks of LPL left. But outside of that, Group Nirvana looks more or less like it should.
I mean, Group Nirvana is almost locked up at this point. Because if NIP win a single game... Actually, let me just make sure I'm looking at this game score. Yeah, if NIP win their games, they're locked obviously at 4-0. And it's basically a race for Invictus Gaming versus Weibo.
Yeah. Everybody just gotta win one. So Nirvana's pretty locked, and on the other side, Ascend also looks like it should. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room around the bottom of the group, but
I mean 4 and 5, you know, like you can swap 4 and 5 with JDG, and I think you're completely correct there.
Yeah, EDG maybe staging a comeback, but a lot of this is, I mean, you know, not a crazy comeback, but they only need one win to, you know,
1
do
in
anything.
16, bro. Even if they get this
know.
one win, their game differential is disgusting. Like that is what is the tiebreaker. They're minus 15 in game score. LGD is minus 8. Math is never my strong suit. I got flamed the other day by someone in the comments about like, oh, we need to get Alka calculator, but remember, we never do math on stream, except for right now when I want to. I'm pretty sure if EDG lose another series, they actually just can't make it back in terms of game differential. There's just not enough games for them to make it.
This makes me wonder, perhaps unhealthily, what the record for most negative game differential is. I'm sure we can find it. Do you know it?
I'm pretty sure it's like in the 20s, because we've had some really. We had like at a certain point in LPL, we had like a 16-team group. It was literally just all the teams, and there was a team who like lost every single series, and they were extremely bad. So their game differential was probably awful.
That's brutal. That is brutal. All right. Well, probably not any record-breaking seasons, perhaps, but EDG's, as you illustrate, quite difficult. The rest of the standings, especially towards the top, a little bit of wiggle room, but things are shaping up. I mean, we are past the halfway point, and we don't have any, from my perspective, huge overperformers or huge underperformers that were unexpected, that were like, oh, what are they going to do in the second half of the split? How is this going to work? At this point, it is all about who can surprise us, and that is much harder halfway through the split. However, there is still a bunch of LPL left to play. As we said, we have 2 weeks left of it. Right now, some of you may have noticed, it's Sunday. Actually, for you, is it Monday? Alk, is it Monday?
No, it's still Sunday. It is 6
Sunday?
a.m. here on the Western Seaboard.
Okie doke. Well, in that case, I'm just going to assume most of our audience, we are sitting at a comfortable Sunday. We will be back on Wednesday, and then the LPL will continue, starting off with EDG versus AL, which you should be able to guess how that's going to go. We'll see you. We'll see you guys then, and thank you so much for watching. A quick shout out to everyone of our elite coffee supporters, Aaron Soup, Mung, Gelati, and Andrea Duran, whose pledged financial contributions have helped level up our broadcast and giving back to the cast and the crew who strive to give you an LPL English product every day is absolutely appreciated. We would encourage all of you to go check out our coffee to see how you can support the LPL English and the amazing work and play that we strive to bring you every day, except for Mondays and Tuesdays, because that's when the LPL is off. So,
correct.
In the spirit of taking Monday and Tuesday off, we'll